Welcome to Yeshua Kids Garden.
Alright, so hello and welcome once again to Yeshua Kids Garden, and today we are here again with Mrs. Patricia Enase, and we're going to be discussing a new topic today, which we have titled Identifying an Irresponsible Nigerian Man. What are the red flags to look out for? So basically, we're going to more so focus on this subject today. And before we dive into the subject, we're going to just let our guest right here to introduce herself as before. So that's basically our protocol here, even though you might have seen her before. Okay, so Mrs. Patricia, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Fortune. I'm so blessed to be here today because this is the third time and some hitches here and there, but at the end of the day, we are right here. But what surprised me in this topic, Mr. Fortune, are you looking for a suitor for your daughter, or what's the meaning of this topic?
Okay, so I'm actually not looking for a suitor. I actually don't have any kids yet. So I think the drive more so is basically the fact that for years men have been blaming women. So I think observing the dynamics, I think we have some part to be blamed for as a man. So I think it'll be interesting to shed some light on those aspects, especially from a woman's perspective and one who is elderly. So I think that you'll be better fit to guide the future generation, or the younger generation, so to say.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. And it's like this topic is going to have so many dimensions, because after talking about the men, of course, you are going to talk about the women. So what are those red flags that we are talking about? Now, when you talk about a man, who is a man? That's the first thing you should ask. Who is a man? And at least as far as Nigeria is concerned, a man is somebody who is above 18 years, who can cast his vote during elections, have you?
Yes.
Yeah, that is some of the... So that one, with that, you know that, yeah, this person is ready to take responsibilities for things around him. And when you are looking for the traits or the characters of an irresponsible man, there are so many.
Okay.
Very, very many.
So I think just before we dive into that, so let me just ask you some opening questions. Okay, so I think it's best to define certain aspects of this discussion before we actually dive into it. So we're gonna more so focus on the first segment, which is the general questions, and we would like to know, what is your definition of irresponsibility in the context of relationships, for example, or maybe a general context, then we can now dive into relationships.
Okay. Now, the traits of an irresponsible man, they are there for everybody to see. For example, an irresponsible man will always dodge on market days so that he will not give money to the wife to go to the market. Because when we talk about man, we are assuming that this man we are referring to is married. It's a married man.
Yes.
And if it's a married man, he will have a wife. Though that is part of being responsible. Getting married is responsibility. And if you get married, for you to follow through that marriage, you have to be really, really responsible to be able to do that. And responsibility could be financial, it could be moral, it could be anything. So when you talk about a man who is matured and who is qualified to be labeled responsible, you must look at some of the traits. And I try to identify some. One of the traits of somebody or a man who is responsible should be respectful. He should be reliable. He should be honest. He should be accountable. And he should be very, very responsible, like we have mentioned. And responsibility, if you do something, be bold enough to own up to say, yes, this is what I have done. It's either a mistake or something.
Hey, look, these days, where economy just they fail. Come with Sapa way, no fit explain. You get brand where they sell, we go pay. We go pay, go pay, go hey, pay. Look, info, Leon Finfo, follow me, go, may we get money. Make you call your amigos, free membership, sign up quick, and no they carry body. If you buy, if you sell for this website, no commission, no cost for this website. But cool sellers, we go give you good price. And if you know like, I'm gonna next guy. Hey, no middleman, we go try take your money to do your thing on a solo. If you find anything, if you shop buy for any location, where you there, so my manana, distress sales. My manana, distress sales. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net.
Everybody just they dance, they smile for here, man. Like say things they share for this website. Let me go check out this website, man.
So, but if you keep denying or dodging responsibilities, then you are not. I don't think such a person is qualified to be called a responsible man.
Okay, so I think that is very good. So you simultaneously found a way to define responsibility while citing some of the instances, which is basically more so the second question I had for you as an opening question is basically how does this manifest? And I think that you've touched upon that. So my next question for you is really part of the opening question is, are there cultural or societal factors in Nigeria that might contribute to a man being perceived as irresponsible in relationships?
Yes, I think so. There are factors. For example, the society holds a man who is married with wife and children as responsible. Whatever happened in their home is immaterial, but we'll come to that later. But when you say a man is responsible, they will expect that man to have a wife and children at home. And those children will reflect the type of person that the man is at home. There are some men who fear commitment so much that anything that will tie them to a particular woman, they don't want it. So they fear commitment. And one of the traits of those who fear commitment is the fact that, oh, there's no money out there. Where will I see money to take care of this? But then I believe that once you start a family, you have made up your mind to start a family. Somehow the money will come. And you might be fortunate to get a wife who is ready to stand by you 3-4-7. So I don't think that should be a problem at all. So when you say a man, you give him 100 naira or 100,000 to say, go and start business. At the end of the day, he cannot even account for that business. He cannot even account for the money. So how can you term such a person as responsible? And you open your eyes to get married to such a man. So I don't know. These are some of the things you look out for. There are some men who they don't want to commit to anything at all. They are fond of dodging responsibilities or passing blame to the next person. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that this happened. No. If you are a responsible person, you should be able to take responsibility for any action or anything you do. That is what I think. it should be.
Okay, so I have two questions for you, but I wouldn't want to dive into that right now, so I'm just going to save that for later because you made two interesting points that are in some light interwoven. But I would just like to move on, and then I will give me come back to that later on. So maybe we can have some more information that will allow me to construct the question even better. So
Okay.
let's move forward. So in your experience, what would you say are the common misconceptions about Nigerian men and responsibility in relationships?
First, you want that to lay me on the road and say, Mama, what were you saying about men? Is that what you want? Anyway, that's by the way. Now, Nigerian men, I'll say it's too general because in Nigeria you have so many tribes. There are people who say, oh, the Igbo man takes so much care of the wife, that makes him responsible. The Yoruba man will say, oh, the husband does not take care, so he's not. There are so many sides to this question. But when you talk about the traits of a responsible Nigerian man, I would say he should be reliable, he should be accountable, he should be I'm trying to frame the word empathic. It should be.
It should be kind.
Help me now.
It should have. It should have a heart.
You should have exactly. You should have
a conscience, so to say.
A conscience, exactly. So, but some men lack all these, and you begin to wonder what kind of blood is running in the veins of this man. So, for you to say yes, I want to marry, because the yardstick for measuring maturity, as far as I'm concerned, is marriage. Because the moment you are married, you are responsible to someone, and that person will keep a tab on you, whether you like it or not. So, if you are ready to go the hog to say, look, I want to get married, then you must have certain things. And most of those things one of those things you will have is that authority to be able to hold your family together. And how do you hold your family together? By providing the essentials for the home. There are some lazy men out there who will be busy playing drafts while their wives are on the farm working their head out, their backs out. But when the woman comes back, the woman will still be the one to enter the kitchen and cook. And after cooking and even serving the husband who has been playing drafts under the tree from morning till night, the man will have the audacity to turn the plate to say, where is the fish in this soup? And if the woman have the guts to say, did you give me anything to go to this market? Then her will be let loose. Will you refer to such a man as a responsible man? No. So, responsibility has to also do with emotion. This is somebody who has been working since morning. The man will walk past 100 times without saying, my dear, well done. No, there's nothing like that. Instead, you'll be pointing to the cobwebs, to the places you didn't sweep. Oh, you've not done here, you've not done this, you've not done that. You refer to such a man as being empathic? No, he's not thinking of you. He's always thinking of himself. So a typical Nigerian man is self-centered. Let me use that word. I might be too harsh, but that is it. They are very self-centered. Myself.
Go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to bring in a point because it's interesting the dynamics that happen. So we've been seeing things on the internet where people from other nations tend to appreciate Nigerian men more, and it's kind of like a trend. We've been seeing people from different African nations praising Nigerian men. So what is wrong with the dynamic between Nigerian men and Nigerian women? So why is it that when it comes to the same nationality, that is Nigeria, there seems to be an underappreciation or an appearance of complaint. So on the part of the women. So what is happening with Nigerian men in their relationships with other people, other nationalities, and when coming back to Nigeria? So what's happening? How would you explain that dynamic?
It's pretense, Fortune. It's pretense. They pretend a lot. They'll pretend to do heaven and earth for the other woman because they want to prove that they are capable of taking care of a woman from outside. And who knows what the parents of the woman must have told him. If you don't take care of our daughter, blah, 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 so many things will go wrong, right? But a situation where you don't want to pretend, you want to be your real self, then you have to play the role. I happen to have lived maybe in 2 African countries, and I can infer, like the typical people from our West African region. Oh, they believe Nigerian men are very nice, but those of us who are in here, when I say those of us, I'm not referring to myself because that's the implication of this topic you have given me.
It's very sensitive, and it's good. I think you must have stated at the beginning that it's not a personal it's not a personal explanation, but it's more so based on your investigations and generalities. So of course, I think we should make that clear here.
Please make it clear. Make it clear before they will pack my load out. By the time I finish recording this, you say, okay, I think you don't talk your own. But I come back, make us at home here. So, first, this is a general talk, and I'm just making a general comments, So, the typical Nigerian man will pretend when he sees I wouldn't use the word a stranger. When we see another woman out there, it will pretend to be the best. Oh, my dear, what's wrong? Why are you sick? Hey, what is happening? But the moment they land in that international airport, Nigeria, you're on your own. So that is the question I should ask you, Fortune. How come men behave that way? Or not men in general, but more of men. Even the one that was carrying a bag for the wife, when they go to the hospital or carrying baby on the shoulder, the moment they get to the airport, they say, take your bag and your baby. We are now in Nigeria. Why? So that is also a question that, Fortune, you should answer.
Okay, so although I might have my perspective, but for the sake of time, I would like more so to focus on your perspective. So I think we're going to this discussion might extend beyond this particular exchange. So I do not want to I don't want to dabble into it right now, but maybe we can have more so on my perspective. So I want this to be without bias. So since we're trying to have a woman's perspective on the subject. So basically, it seems what you've said can be summed up in hypocrisy and the fear of consequence on the part of men when they are elsewhere, away from their own women, so to say. So Nigerian women, so to say. Okay. So I think you made mention of you made a reference in one of your illustrations or examples in the way a man will play his draft and he expects more even after this woman have been through a lot, right, throughout the day. So would you say in such where does the offense come from? Is it a lack of taking responsibility, a lack of doing nothing, or would you say is it a tone that was used to make that request, or is it a combination of both? What do you think triggers or upsets the woman in this case?
Yes. When women walk and the men don't appreciate, it brings a lot of acrimony. A typical woman, like I said, who has been in the farm working from morning, probably he left around 6 and came back by 5, is now trying to hurry to make sure that he prepare food for the husband and the children, only for the husband to say, there's no fish in this soup or there's no meat in this soup. Well, how will you feel? Instead of saying, they don't, and this thing I'm saying, there are some tribes that are very, very good in Nigeria. And there are also tribes that are not too good in taking care of women. Because when you talk about responsibility, it's what you are capable of doing. That is the responsibility. Well, you are responsible to your family, you are responsible to your wife, you are responsible to your children. If you are able to play these roles well, good. But if you are not able to play them, you'll be termed irresponsible.
I think
so. That is the
sorry to just comment. I think that mention of some tribes where a certain mannerism is prevalent. I think it also has a connection to also people or men coming from the international airport and changing their ways. So I think there's a cultural standard and mannerism which sadly it's not the best in certain regions. I think that just applies to the comparison with Nigeria, when men arrive in Nigeria and when they are elsewhere. So I think it's more so the perception of what is enshrined in that culture that influences the behavior as well. So that's why there is possibly that difference. Okay, so I think I'm going to come back to some of your questions. I want to advance further in the questions I actually had for you. So let's focus more on red flags in behavior. Okay, so I think this is not just for information, but I think it's going to be a learning opportunity for women looking for the ideal man, and also for men who are willing to change. So if some of the things that can be learned from this exchange today. So let's get into it. So the next question I have for you is, what are the early signs of irresponsibility that women should look out for in a Nigerian man, especially in the early stages of dating?
Okay. That's a good one. Now, what are the red flags to look out for? There are many. If a man tells you he's coming to visit you by 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., 10:15 is not there. 10:30 is not there. And he's busy, he will stroll in probably 11 o'clock and tell you stories from here to there. Oh, because of this, because of that. That is a sign of irresponsibility, because if you knew you were not going to keep that appointment, it's a question of placing a call, especially this time of communicate, telecom everywhere. You place a call and tell the person that, look, because of this, because of that, I'm not able to make that 10 o'clock appointment. But instead, some men will just stroll in like that without being apologetic and start looking for holes. Oh, this place is not clean. Why did you dress like this? Why did this dress? I've told you several times not to wear this dress. Why are you still wearing, looking for ways to cover up the deficiencies that he already had. So, as far as I'm concerned, for a man to be in charge, you must have that response. You must be able to be responsible, not only to yourself, but to your partner or to your neighbor. So, you have to be responsible. One of the ways to be responsible is to keep into time. Time is very, very important to me. If I fix a meeting for 10 o'clock and 10:15, at least my people know that 9:45, they should be ready. They should be sitting and waiting for me. Not me coming to wait for them, because I am in charge when it comes to that. So now that I'm talking about the red flags, you say, what else can you do? You can be, constant monitoring. Must make sure that you put a tab on the person who you think may not be able to take charge. So if you have made up your mind, or you have fallen into a trap of getting somebody who is so unreliable, when you say, wait for me at the junction, you should go to the main road to wait, then you have to find ways to adjust. And your next question will be, how do you adjust? But don't ask me that one. So you have to take responsibility. You have to take responsibility for anything you do. As a man, you have to be, if you are bold enough to do anything, you should also be bold enough to take responsibility for whatever you have done. So that is one of the things I always hold on to. Okay. I hold on to responsibility and accountability. Yes, you have to be accountable too.
Okay, that's interesting, and I think that's one of the things I advocate for. As a matter of fact, when it comes to, I think the question I asked you earlier, I just remembered a Bible verse, and it basically talks about how when when a woman takes care of everything, especially when it comes to financial responsibility, it drives her mad. So there's actually a reference to that. So because she is operating outside what she was actually on the area where she was supposed to operate naturally and divinely as well. So a man should take responsibility, and once that is left to a woman, it infuriates her inside from within, and the longer that stretches out, that actually makes her more mad. So that is something I can actually understand and relate to. So let's move forward. So the next question I have for you is, how can financial irresponsibility be a red flag? So just touching from that point. And how do you think it's influenced by broader economic context in Nigeria? So how does financial irresponsibility, that's more sort of focus, and how does that influence in this discussion, for example? So how does that aggravate the situation, especially within the context of Nigeria?
Okay. I made a mention about that when I was opening the conversation. I said there are some men who will dodge when it is market day. Any day it is, in our local market. That's before 4 days, some people 7 days. And on the market day, that's when the irresponsible man will pick a quarrel with the wife. Oh, why did you not do this? Why did you not do that? All in an excuse to dodge giving money to go to market. So all these are the red flags that we are talking about. Now, you see a heavy man, he has no job. From morning till night, he will just be talking on with people who, unfortunately, they are all the same anyway. And yeah, they will all be the same, because birds of the same feather, they say, we always flock together. So there will be the same people discussing if mosquito fly past. Hey, see that mosquito, why it be like that? If fly, hey, this fly safe. All these are the things that make people to say, this man, I don't think he's a responsible man. Especially if a young lady has come to introduce a man, that this is the man she wants to marry. It's not only the lady that will be searching for who will be looking out for the traits of a good man. Even friends, relations, neighbors, they will tell me, that man, hey, the way I used to see him at the park fighting with everybody, is that the kind of man you want to marry? And they will caution you. So if you go ahead and say, oh, it is love, okay, we'll go come.
Okay,
so they will ask you.
I think that's a very interesting point to you made, because we are living in a generation where people don't want to listen to anyone and don't want more so individuals, and they believe they actually know it all, so to say. So would you say that this is actually playing a factor in some of the regrets on the part of the ladies? Because initially we used to have parents, when you come in the past, you bring a man. They want to know his family, they want to know what he's doing, what he has done, how does he function in society, and especially that conversation with the father of the girl is very important, because a man, a responsible father, will be able to probe him and know that, okay, based on this discussion, this man reasons responsibly. But we don't see that today. So would you say that's a contributory factor on the part of the regret on the side of many young ladies today? And would you say that they have a part to be blamed in their demise, so to say?
Yes, they have a big role to play, because these days, this generation, they are in a hurry. Where they're hurrying to, I don't know. But if you look deep, you will know the reasons why they are in a hurry. You want to marry a man. You met the man in Lagos, and your village is maybe Warri. Without your parents knowing the boy, before you know it, the woman is pregnant, and they will say, "Oh, yeah, it's not that she's pregnant. There's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, go marry."
look, these days, where economy just they fail. Come with Sapa way, no fit explain. You get brand where they sell, we go pay. We go pay, go pay, go pay. Hey, look, info, Leon Finfo, follow me, go, may we get money. Make you call your amigos, free membership, sign up quick, and no they carry body. If you buy, if you sell for this website, no commission, no cost for this website. But cool sellers, we go give you good price. And if you know like I'm go the next guy. Hey, no middleman, we go try take your money, to do your thing on a solo. If you find anything, if you sharply buy for any location, where you there, so my manana, distress sales. My manana, distress sales. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net.
Everybody just they dance, they smile for here, man. Be like say things they share for this website. Maybe go check out this website, man.
And that kind of a relationship where you don't even know your in-laws don't know you. There are so many here in Lagos where I live. You will ask a boy, how old are you? Say, I'm 15, 16. Oh, so where are you from? Say, I'm from so and so place. Okay. Where are your parents? My parents are in so and so area. Okay. So where's your village? You mentioned the village. Have you been there before? I said, no. You mean as big as you are, as old as you have not been to your village? I said, no. I said, why? He said, because my father or my mother has not taken me there. But most times, it's always the father. Because if the father says, get up, my son, we are going to my village today, the son will have no excuse. So if you bring such a man to say you want to marry, and you bring such a man who does not know his left from his right, it's a big problem. Because where are you going to start from? Are you going to train him to be your husband? Are you going to train him to be your son? Or to do what are you going to do? So it's a big one. It's a big one. And women or girls of these days, they are not patient, because one has to be patient to get the right one. In those days, when we were marrying, they would just say, oh, so and so person came because of you. This man who came to this house, he came because he wants to see you. And typical woman say, hey, no, I never read you, But if it's a woman who is ready for marriage, of course, and you see the physique, the structure, the wherewithal of that man, you say, okay, you can encourage the parents to say, okay, you can be coming. But if you don't want, you just say, I beg, I don't want, So women let me not use the word winner. Women were patient in those days to get to the right one. But in this jet age, nobody is ready to wait. The moment you can bring money to throw on the father or the mother, buy wrapper and all those things, they say, oh yeah, they go. Especially if it's a troublesome girl or a wayward girl or woman, they'll say, yeah. Somebody is even ready to marry this one. Oh yeah, carry they go. They won't even argue. They will not. Instead of saying bring 10 naira, say I just bring 2 naira and a bottle of gin. You are good to go. Because they want to get rid of that woman. But in a typical situation where the man is ready for marriage, he will go to the in-laws or to the potential in-laws to say, I'm so and so person. I'm coming because of so and so person that I have found in this house. Please, can you let me have a relationship with that girl? And you're not going there alone. You have to go with either 3 or 4 members of your family. You can't just march to anybody's house and say, I want to marry your daughter. No, it doesn't work. Things don't work that way. So that is it. So, one, girls or women these days are not patient enough to wait for their time. And men too, they know that what the women want is money. So whether you do Yahoo, do whatever, the moment you have money to bring, then you are good to go, which is not supposed to be. So those are some of the things I see. I don't know. I think so. Some of
Okay.
the things.
Okay, I think that is an interesting point. So I just wanted to just from the last question I asked you, how important would you say is the father's input when a woman decides to get married or brings a man? How important is that discussion? Because today, like you said, a lot of women are rushing. Okay, so I'm not trying to make this about the girls because we're going to actually have a discussion focused on women. But I just wonder, since we're touching this point right now, how important is that discussion of the father and to be spouse?
Yeah. Some fathers are good. They understand. They'll join to pray and to ask for God's guidance. But some are so impatient that if you are with them, maybe you are approaching 25, 30, they will be angry. Anything you do, they will just turn it against you. See, no, don't you see your mates? Is this where your mates are supposed to be? That word, don't you see your mates? Some people don't relate to it positively. They'll take it negatively and they go to town. Not be make I go find man, make I go, and they can bring anything that is called a man. But if you are patient with prayers, I think it's something men can overcome. You don't have to tag along with your daughter. Some men don't want to let their daughters go. I don't know why. I don't know why. But the moment the girl realize that what this man is doing it doesn't favor me, then she will be bold enough to now take the decision to say, look, Daddy, anytime I bring somebody, I always complain about this or that. Why not give me that? Why not trust my judgment that if I come with somebody, it's somebody who is going to be reliable and somebody I'm sure will be compatible with you. If they do that in a smooth, a peaceful atmosphere, I don't think there'll be any problem. It is when the girl will not, anytime I bring somebody, this is how you always, when you become rude, when you become aggressive to your father because of one man that will disappear, he may marry, he may end up not even marrying you. So why will you destroy a relationship between you and your father for somebody whom who you don't say? I don't know.
Who is new in your life, wasn't really who you uncertain as to the future outcomes. Okay, so we totally get that. Okay, so all right, moving on. So we're just going to transition. Like I said, that we don't want to make this about the women yet. We're going to have that discussion. So let's go back to the man. Okay, so next question I have for you. I think you touched upon it earlier on. So I would like for you to elaborate on this next question because I know you mentioned it. So the question I have is, does an unwillingness to commit to long-term goals like marriage or planning a future signal irresponsibility? If so, why?
Yes. Unwillingness signifies irresponsibility because if you are an adult in Nigeria, you'll be expected to have a wife and children. If you're a responsible man, because a man can come to a gathering, and when he's talking, the moment the colleagues or the age group know that he's an efulefu. Do you know what's called an efulefu in Igbo means?
A lost so always lost.
He says a lot, have you? No future ambition. Efulefu. They will say, will you sit down? How many wives do you have? They boast even with the number of wives and children they have, which signifies maturity. And you have to be mature to be able to be responsible, because if you are 100 years and you are not even mature for that age, you can still be behaving irresponsibly. Yes, it's still possible. You drink and fall inside gutter and things like that. All those ones are irresponsibility as far as I'm concerned. So, and one of the ways I think men used to exhibit those irresponsibilities will be constant nagging, constant monitoring, constant shouting, you know. It's not the best. It doesn't tell well of a man. You are somewhere with your age group and they are talking. The only word that will come out of your mouth is that one, that one. I mean, what's the meaning of that one? It's something that some men use. It's a language that they use, which to me is very, very derogatory. And you say that one. What's the meaning of that one? You need a long explanation to be able to decipher that word. So sometimes they use anger to quieten their opponents. When I say opponent, the opposite sex. If you want water, give me water. Simple. They'll bring the water to you. But when you say, I tell you to give me water, give me that water, please. Will you give me that water? You know, you are putting a commanding tone, which most women don't like. Because women too, they have blood running in their veins. So when you try to intimidate a woman to submission, it's not the best. You can't regard such a person as a responsible man. A responsible man has to use a friendly tone to get things done. But when you command as if you are in the military house, the moment the father is coming in, everybody will just take over. All those who were watching television in the sitting room, they will all disappear. That doesn't make you a responsible man. Why are the children running away? Because of something which they don't like, and they are not bold enough to tell the father that, look, daddy, this thing you are doing, I don't think I like it. But the only way to show their is not anger, to show their emotion is to disappear from the parlor so that only the man go dey there. So that is it. A man who is responsible should be able to carry the family along. And the first thing I said is the only way to identify a man who is responsible is he must have a wife and children. So if you are 100 years and you don't have a wife, people will begin to wonder what's wrong with that man. Is he okay? Is he well? So we want to avoid those things in our society to make sure that parents bring up men who are responsible. You see a woman, an elderly person, dragging a bag, probably from the garage or from the market or whatever. As a young man who has been well brought up, you will take that bag from that woman to say, Mama, where are you going? If it's where you can follow her to drop her bag, good. But if not, then you know how far you can go with the person. But some people will just walk past, whether they won't even greet. So those are signs of irresponsibility. Anybody who is responsible must be respectful and straightforward. That is me. That is what I think should happen.
Okay, so I think you mentioned marriage as a sign of responsibility. What would you say
Yes.
as because jumping into marriage is one thing, and I think both parties, both male and female, should be aware before they actually jump into the matter. And part of the things is preparedness, having understanding now you're dealing with a second human being, and some people
Yes.
might want to have the time to actually develop that aspect of tolerance and understanding. And of course, and more so on the part of the man, will we be right to always say that the man is irresponsible for not settling down yet? Because as I think men typically, I think I used to say personally, a man should first of all seek the Most High God to be guided, And secondly, he should build himself, because he's building himself not just for himself and for his family. So is there a point where we draw the line? Because you cannot be a man who cannot even provide for himself and then want to seek to settle with a woman. Because one of the first things the father would ask you of that girl is, are you ready? How can you take care of my daughter? What do you have? And this is a very important question, because the man is, as a father, is basically giving his daughter over to you. He's signing off his daughter, and his daughter has a right to come and say, Father, this is what you signed up to me. This is what you gave and you okayed. Why didn't you see the signs? Wouldn't you say that a man will be responsible by, first of all, trying to make sure that he's able to provide those things? What do you have to say on this subject?
Yes. As far as I'm concerned, it boils down to luck. If there's anything called luck, you might be lucky to get an understanding wife who will stand by you. You will also be unfortunate not to get somebody who will say, this is a fulefu. That word again, I'm using it. So it will not disappear. But when you talk about getting married early, there are some tribes in Nigeria. Between 20 and 25, they are married. And once they are married, there are some, you ask them, what is the reason for you getting married so early when you don't have anything? They believe that some women will also bring luck to them. So if I allow myself to miss this one, I don't know when I'll be lucky enough to get another one. So they get married on time. And when you see these two people relating, you will even think they are brothers and sisters. You wouldn't know that they are married. They are a married man and a woman. That is because they understand themselves right from the onset. They begin to build on themselves, encourage and improve on each other's life. So there's a tribe in Nigeria that is good in that. On the other hand, there's also another tribe in Nigeria who, until you build a duplex in Ikoyi, they will not marry you. So it depends on the border. Where do you fall? That is the thing. So if one is lucky to get a man who has nothing, but you can see the prospects, you can see the future, to say, oh, this man, if not that is the economy of Nigeria, of the country, at least he would have gotten a good job. He went to a good school, he speaks well, he's okay, but luck has not smiled on him to get a good job. I'm not saying you should go and break people's houses and be stealing because you want to marry, no. But if you put that at the back of your mind, then when you are going into that relationship, you are going into it with all your heart to make sure that this thing succeeds, to make sure that this marriage must work. And you will discover that the divorce rate in that tribe is very, very low, because these people grew up to love themselves, to love each other.
Hey, look, these days, where economy just they fail. Come with Sapa way, no fit explain. You get brand where they sell, we go pay. We go pay, go pay, go pay. Hey, look, info, Leon Finfo, follow me, go, may we get money. Make you call your amigos, free membership, sign up quick, and no they carry body. If you buy, if you sell for this website, no commission, no cost for this website. But cool sellers, we go give you good price. And if you know like I'm go the next guy. Hey, no middleman, we go try take your money, to do your thing on a solo. If you find anything, if you sharply buy for any location, where you there, so my manana, distress sales. My manana, distress sales. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net.
everybody just they dance, they smile for here, man. Be like, see things they share for this website. Maybe go check out this website, man.
Let me use that to love each other.
I think coming back to culture in that note and what is prevalent within that space is also benefiting the men and the women. But unfortunately, men or women might find themselves in a place where they have to exercise caution, because the same way you would walk into something with great faith can be very detrimental in a different environment if you do not exercise caution. Because I would say, without necessarily diving into the subject, many men would say today, okay, what worked for our fathers, the type of women they had back then with our fathers, it's not the same we're having today. And living in an individualistic society that is so basically inundated with media influences and what we see today, which is more so hinged on the superficial, it can be very detrimental. You would say, wouldn't you say that to jumping in and just walking in with that kind of faith, like you said, luck. Luck is a very it's a rarity. So one might need to add or calculated risk, so to say, on the part of the man. So just speaking openly on the man, being a man myself, but I wouldn't want to dwell on that too much. So let's move on to the next question. I want to ask you, how does a man's relationship with his family, that is, whether his parents or siblings, reflect his sense of responsibility or lack thereof?
Yes, coming from my background as a teacher, stroke, everything in education, I will know that a family is the nucleus of society. That's what we were told in education, and it is true. Because if a father and the mother are together and they raise and they bring up children to this world, they should be capable of taking care of those children to avoid some falling by the wayside. If you are a man, you are old enough, you get married. Of course, the end point is to have children. And when you have those children, what do you do with those children? Are you going to play with them or to bring them up in the fear of the Almighty? They said, bring up a child the way he should grow. And when he grows old, you will not depart from it. Fortune, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay. So, when you decide to have big teeth, then you should have the big lip to cover those teeth. So if you say you are strong enough, you are capable of taking care of an extra mouth, an extra hand, then go ahead and get married. But when you get married, make sure you take care of that woman. Because if you miss it the first time, it's always difficult. You see a young man of about 40 who has divorced 3 times. What do you think? What will you say of such a man? That there must be something wrong with the man. Nobody will be looking at those women again. He's a man. First one go, second one go, third one. Now what's wrong with that man? They begin to ask questions. It's because the person was not matured enough, or I should use the word matured enough before he jumped into that relationship. That goes back to the one we were talking about, that as kids, you get married and you grow to like each other, right? Mm-hmm. But there are also circumstances that you will say, okay, out of a bed, instead of half bread, they say it's better than none. Let me just go and manage this man. Do you manage people? You cannot manage a human being. Once a human being is formed, there is nothing you can do about it. So I don't have to advocate for, let me just marry for marrying's sake. No. If you are married, be prepared to get married and be ready to play your role as a father. The father will come you will be in the house, the child will bring a bag, expensive bag from school. And the father will not bother to ask, where did you get that bag? No, because as far as they are concerned, those are the things that are happening. Those are the happening things in the society. If you keep bringing things without asking, the child will not believe that, I think my father liked those things I'm bringing. So he or she will be bringing more. So the father must be stern. He must be seen to be in charge of the home. The moment they hear, the dad is coming, everybody will just take over and run. Those who are doing anything bad will just comport themselves.
Okay, so we had some connection issues right there, and unfortunately, we're unable to reestablish contact. So, what we're going to do most likely will be to do a part 2, wherein we can actually ask questions in entirety. Unfortunately, we're unable to do that today, and we have tried to reconnect, and for some reason, we've been having a lot of disruptions today. So hopefully we'll be able to do this again next time, and of course in a part 2, and we will be able to complete it next time. So with that said, I'm here to remind you also to like, subscribe, and of course leave a comment if you have any opinions, anything to share. And if you would like to participate in the discussion, of course you're welcome to send us an email.
Yeah, my name is Taruar. Taruar of your Shaw Kids Garden. Okay, my name is Taruar, the cool one. Yeah, I said it. I'm the cool one. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so just kidding, by the way. Gotta be humble here. Okay, so now my name is Taruar, and I'm the guy with the announcements, the informations, and the reminders. So, speaking of reminders, if you are yet to subscribe to all our platforms, subscribe to us and follow us on TikTok at YasharKidsGarden.ykg, Instagram, YasharKidsGarden, and lastly, on YouTube. Come on, you want to take a guess? Yashar Kids Garden as well. Okay, so follow us on all these platforms. It's really that easy. This way, you never miss out on anything. So come on now, it's just a button. Click it. Click the subscribe. Click the follow. Come on now. Click it. Click it. Click it. Come on, click it. Alright, so now, the announcements. In some time and over a period of time, we will be organizing some quiz which you will have the chance to participate in. Alright, so now what will the quizzes be based on? It will be based on what we've learned so far. I will be the host, and I will be asking the questions based on all we have treated in the past. So people with the correct answers will be selected at random for a gift or cash prize, which will be issued by our sponsor for today. So, just before we introduce you to our sponsor, in case you would like to join our community, WhatsApp to be precise, or follow our channel on WhatsApp as well, the link is in the description. Come on now, be with the cool team. Yeah, the cool team. Okay, now back to our sponsor. So now, who is our sponsor? Who is that awesome entity, or what is that awesome entity that is helping us out, or that is showing us the great support that we need to make this show a success? So now let's get to it. Our sponsor for today, and our primary sponsor in all, is DistressSales.net, a platform where you can buy distress sales items. Also sell, of course. And you know what? Sign up is free. Who does that if not DistressSales.net? So join in today, join their platform, and actually see and sell, view, and buy. Okay, distress sales items. Okay, so check it out. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what they do, their advert will be right on the side over here, and I'm just gonna be here keeping quiet Right on the side here will be their advert. That way you understand what they're really all about. Okay. All right, so I'll be on the side.
Hey, look, these days, where economy just they fail. Come with supper way no fit explain. You get brand where they sell we go pay. We go pay, go pay, go pay. Hey, look, info, Leon Finfo, follow me go, may we get money. Make you call your amigos, free membership, sign up quick and no they carry body. If you buy, if you sell for this website, no commission, no cost for this website. But cool sellers, we go give you good price. And if you know like I'm go the next guy. Hey, no middleman, we go try take your money, they do your thing on a solo. If you find anything, if you sharply buy for any location, where you there, so my manana, distress sales. My manana, distress sales. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net.
Everybody just they dance, they smile for here, man. Be like say things they share for this website. Maybe go check out this website, man.